Hi everyone. So we're continuing on in our Peter Max drawing unit. On your paper, you should be drawing your background of how you were inspired by Peter Max, whether you're using elements from his artwork or you're coming up with different ideas on your own that still kind of work with his work. That is, you know, up to you. So I was inspired by Peter Max, so I'm using the profile face that we talked about in class. I'm doing the crazy hair like he does with the stars. And remember that picture called illustration that we saw where the mouth looked like it was getting ready to eat the person that was running? So I got the mouth open, but instead of it eating someone, I have it with like a rainbow that's going to come out because in art, Roy G. Biv, so I have my rainbow. I decided to use the earth inspired by Peter Max. And I decided to use sun rays going around my earth inspired by Peter Max. So I would do a ray and then maybe some stars, ray, stars, ray, stars, ray, and then of course stars. At the very bottom would be kind of darker. Maybe I'll add some spaceships in with my stars or some other little planets, different things to make it interesting and incorporate the Peter Max style. I also added art supplies at the bottom of mine. Now, once you get to this point where you're kind of like done with your background idea and you're ready to start moving into creating your inspirational word or name, your name, using our ASL, American Sign Language hands. So I boxed in where I wanted my hands to be. So your hands can be anywhere in yours. If you wanted to, you could have made your word like kind of like shaped in with the rays of the sun or something that's going on. I chose to make my word look like it's sitting on top of the rainbow. So my word was imagine, and I'm boxing in like where it's going, where each letter is going to be. So that way I know how big they're going to be and I know that they're spaced out right because I don't want to bunch them all into one little area. I want them to be spaced out and, you know, nice and neat. Remember, neatness is one of the things you get graded on in here. So I'm going to use my ASL, American Sign Language, alphabet to draw my hands. Okay, so we've practiced hands in class already, so this will be a little bit easier for you. So we're just following along, spelling our word correctly. So I'm going to start right at the beginning of mine. So I'm going to put my little paper off to the side, and I'm going to draw my hand right in this area. And I'm not going to erase any of these lines yet because I want to fit my hand in here, and then I'll erase things that I don't need. So looking at the eye, I know that the pinky finger sticks out. My little thumb is going to come over and overlap some of these, so that's why I'm kind of making little spaces right here. I want it to look right. And it's okay if you feel like your hand doesn't look right at this point because you can always go back in and touch up stuff. That's why we have erasers. Thumbs are always crazy because they remember when we talked about thumbs in class, we talked about how thumbs they actually come all the way down here. So when you're drawing a thumb on the side, this is all your thumb. So it always looks a little bit strange. And I can go back in and thin this part up so it doesn't look as sometimes when we're drawing we tend to draw a little bit bigger than necessary, but that's okay. We can always erase and fix it. Okay. I'm going to quickly just erase this little line inside the fingers so that way it's not in my way while I'm finishing this up. And then I'm going to touch this little piece up. And I like to end all my hands right at like where the wrist is. I don't need to draw anything else, and I want this to look like it's sitting on this rainbow, so I'm just going to erase this little extra that came out the bottom. Okay, and remember your fingernails. They're going to help your fingers and your hands look like real hands. And remember we talked about fingernails? They don't your your nails don't cover the whole bottom or the whole part of your finger. There's a little bit of meat on each side of your nail, so keep that in mind as well. So this is my hand, and I'm just going to erase all these extra little lines out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to add some extra little lines inside my hand to make my hand look like it's an actual hand. And just by doing those little things, it'll make your hand more believable. So this is my eye, and then I'm going to make my M over here, which is going to be a little bit more trickier if you've seen the alphabet. The M is kind of hard. And then I'm just going to keep going until my word's done. And after I finish my word, I'm going to outline everything with a Sharpie. So now that we've got all of our hands in for our letters, so here are all of mine, we are going to start outlining with a Sharpie marker because we're, whether you do the background using colored pencils or you do the background using watercolors or pastels, that's really up to you. We need to start outlining from this point. That way we can erase any extra little things and your lines will still be there even after you do all of your background stuff. So I'm going to start way over here and work my way across.